everybody, and welcome to The Shawning. Today, I thought we would go take a trip to summer camp. That's right, we're going to talk about 1983's Sleepaway Camp, which is considered a cult classic and also one of my favorite slasher movies. And I haven't even seen it, it's only been about a year since I've seen it. So it made a very good first impression. Cult classics are very funny that way. At the time that it came out in 83, it was going against some pretty heavy hitters. You had Cujo and Christine both coming out that year. The sequel to Psycho, sequelitis was everywhere in the 80s, so that's why there was a lot of sequels in 83. But we had Cujo and Christine, so this movie kind of had a lot that it was going against just with those two movies alone, and that's just in the horror genre. That's not including, superhero movies or whatever else. So I respect this movie a lot because I think it was very much ahead of its time. The makeup effects are amazing, yada, yada, yada. Well, before I get on a tangent of talking about it without you knowing what it's about, let me give you just a quick summary of what Sleepaway Camp is about. So it opens up, Angela and her brother, Peter, are on the lake with their dad, John, and they're on a boat. And the kids flip the boat, it's a joke, ha ha ha. Well, there's another boat that a counselor is driving from the camp, put two and two together, dead. Except Angela lives. So, fast forward, 8 years later, Angela lives with Ricky, her cousin, and his mom, which is her aunt, who's crazy. Super crazy. We'll get to that. So they go to camp, and Angela is very, very, very quiet. She's shy. She's very much an introvert. So naturally, the typical mean girls of the camp, pick on her, and they bully her the whole movie. And the same goes with Ricky and the males, except Ricky is not shy at all. In fact, he is more outspoken for everyone. So he's good. So, he's kind of her protector in a way. So Ricky is, monitoring Angela as they're at this camp and all this stuff starts happening. People start getting murdered. And not just like murdered. It's scary stuff. So, we'll come to find out, you get to the end of the movie after all the killings happen and things like that. Angela is not actually Angela. Angela did, in fact, die in the boating crash at the beginning of the movie. So, who is it? Well, it's actually Peter, who was the brother. The crazy aunt had a boy already, who was Ricky, and always wanted a little girl. So, you can put two and two together on that one. And by the end of the movie, Angela, aka Peter, had a complete, just mental snap. And that's the plot of the movie. I do want to talk about the characters a little bit because I do think they're very important. You have Angela, who, aka Peter, who she does a phenomenal job. And the actress's name is Felicia Rose. She did amazing, especially for a child actor who's taking up a large role like that in a movie. I think she did phenomenal. Her expressions are very, very blank and just cold, but not cold-hearted. You know that she's shy, and that's what they were leaning towards, and they did a very, very, very good job. And so did she, making sure that, she stayed reserved through the entire movie until the end. I think that was awesome. Her eyes creeped me out because they are extremely blank. So it's almost unsettling just how blank her eyes are at times. Ricky, on the other hand, like I said earlier, he was extremely outspoken, and at times it seemed like a little much. It was a little excessive. You don't have to react that way in every situation. He was just angry all the time. So, that got a little annoying after a while. They made up for it, though. This is a fun movie. However, do not watch this with children. Please, don't watch this with children around. It is not for children. But if you need to watch a good movie, I recommend this one all the way. The death scenes are amazing, and the special effects and the makeup is awesome. I'm not going to tell you all of the deaths because that would just be pointless, and then you wouldn't want to watch the movie because I just told you everything. So I am going to pick the two that really messed me up. The first one is it's very early in the movie, and it's when the cook, who is a complete sleazeball, gets his head pushed into a pot of boiling corn water. It was so gross though, because they showed the blisters and everything, and they did a super, super good job. I mean, it was extremely realistic, and for 1983, that was super impressive to me. Now, this next one really messed me up because I am so scared of bees. I don't know why. I am petrified of them. So this scene messed me up pretty bad. It was one of the male campers. He was in the shower room. He was using the restroom, and Angela dropped a beehive from the window onto his head, and the bees, stung him, and just the prosthetic and everything, the makeup of the bee stings, it was amazing. I mean, flawless. If I can watch scary movies and I see a scene that makes me, just get the chills almost, and that's a really, really good scene because I've been watching these things for a while. So it kind of takes a lot to really surprise me, and that really, really did surprise me. If you have not seen this movie, you are missing out on a gem. And a lot of people don't talk about this movie because the other slashers were very, very heavily influenced and focused on more so than the ones that were behind the scenes. That doesn't necessarily make them bad. It just means they haven't really been discovered all the way. So I recommend this movie all the way. If you like slashers, you will like this movie. It's impossible to like slashers and not like Sleepaway Camp. But that's just my opinion. Again, you keep watching scary movies, and I'll just keep talking about them.